Hey there, Film Buds. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. I am your host, Paul,
And I'm Lauren.
and this is episode 202. It's our first of the new year, and with the new year comes a new theme. And we're talking about movies that we missed in 2021. And we're joined today by friend of the show, who hasn't been on since October, Nick Delgadillo. Nick, how are you?
Hello. Fancy free and COVID free.
Well, COVID free is the important part there.
Yes.
Especially with how many you've been to the theater like pretty routinely lately.
What did I saw Spider-Man twice now in theaters, and I saw The Matrix in theaters.
Okay.
I saw Nightmare Alley also, but I saw it on the same day as Spider-Man.
Okay.
But
no.
yes, sorry. To answer your question. yes, I have been to the theater.
No, yeah, I've seen some of your posts, and
I wear a mask.
no, for sure, I know that.
I wear a mask
as well.
and I keep a long stick. Nobody's
Good
allowed
for beating people with it.
They're like, I literally bought this seat. It's assigned seating. I'd be like, nope, not anymore.
Well, what I did for Nightmare Alley was it was because we went and saw that in theaters. And
nice, lucky you, right? Lucky
it was
us.
great.
Good movie.
Dead empty theater, but also to
Yeah.
try and make sure that like no one sat near us, I picked the back corner, one seat in, because I was like, what kind of weirdo is going to come to this movie and be like, I need this back corner seat? And so that was like I'll create a little buffer zone, so that way, should I need to move over, like I've got a little wiggle room.
There's like a dozen people when I saw Nightmare Alley, but that was also it was like the opening day.
Yeah, we had 4 others.
Mm.
So very empty.
We're not talking about that movie today, but everyone, you should watch Nightmare Alley. Whenever it comes out on wherever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when it's going to come out on streaming, but you definitely should.
It's still in theaters, so you can also go see it there if you feel so inclined. And see.
Yeah, probably no one's there. They're all at No Way Home.
Yeah.
So we're talking this month, all month long. We're going to talk about movies that we missed in 2021. You know, the last few months of the year, we didn't really focus on anything new at all here on the show. We did, international film, we did Christmas stuff. So we didn't really look at anything that was new coming out. And so I thought that, with award season kind of cranking back up and with the year being over and a lot of stuff coming out on disc and coming out on streaming, that it would be a good time to go and look at some of the stuff that we didn't review on the show. And I reached out to Nick because I knew that he was much more up to date than I am. And he was gracious enough to come back on.
A little bit. I've still missed a lot. You were listening. I was listening to the episode you guys did on the Green Knight, which was great. Good movie.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you were talking about like Henry was listing stuff that he's seen. I'm like, that's crazy. Like even where he's at, I still haven't seen Let There Be Carnage or.
Yeah.
I don't know. I missed a lot. Like I said, saw a lot.
Yeah, when he started listing all that stuff, that he had seen, I was like, oh, Jesus, I just have a mountain that I am behind on.
Because what happened is like once summer came around, stuff started being only in theaters again.
Yeah.
And it was like, don't know about
for
that
sure.
one.
So to kind of get this month together, I went and created a list of movies that came out this year that I had been interested in, but just didn't get to see. And so, or also some that I had seen that I thought would make for good content. And so to kick off our new season, I thought that I would talk about 2 films that I've recently seen a lot of people talking about as being the same movie or as one of them being more successful than the other one in tackling similar concepts. And so for our first episode of the new year, we're talking about the Ryan Reynolds action comedy Free Guy and the legacy sequel for The Matrix, Matrix Resurrections. Both of them have, of course, simulated worlds conceptually, a little bit of like, the allegory of the cave to a
awakening.
degree. Yeah, exactly.
Waking up.
Both of them are people seem to have strong opinions on them. I've seen a lot of people putting Free Guy on like their best of list. I've also seen people putting Free Guy on their worst of list. And the same thing with the Matrix Resurrections. And so Nick was kind enough to put himself through the torturous punishment of watching Free Guy just for this episode.
Paul has given away his feelings towards Free Guy immediately.
But I thought that would make for a good discussion.
And
so I guess without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and jump on into it? We'll be reviewing that, and then we'll talk about sort of 2021 as a year at large, some of our favorites, and we'll get you caught up on some media news. How's that sound, everyone?
Great.
Cue the applause and cheers.
So
put that soundbite in.
Without any further ado, we'll start alphabetically with Free Guy, and as always, we have a clip. So let's take a listen.
Good morning, Goldie. My name is Guy, and I live in Free City. I have everything I need. Except one thing. Hey! Excuse me. Hey! Hey, bud, you ever think that there's got to be more?
More than what?
The stuff we do day after day.
Literally not once.
Today's gonna be different, Goldie.
So that was Free Guy, which is directed by Sean Levy. And the premise is a bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open world video game. And it stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Taika Waititi, Lil Rel Howery, Joe Keery, and Utkarsh Ambudkar. There we go. And since Nick is our guest here, Nick, why don't you go ahead and kick off with what'd you think of Free Guy?
Free Guy. Okay. Free Guy, I think, starts off pretty good. It's not like an entirely original concept, or like, I guess, the angle of what it's doing. It's like a mix of Wreck-It Ralph, since it takes place in a video game, and it's about some, a character in the video game going beyond their programming, their allotted like role in life. But obviously Ralph is aware that he's in a video game and Guy is not at the start. Whereas, which takes us to like, it's also part Truman Show in that way, where it's like, oh, my reality is fake. I'm living in like a fake thing. And everybody's watching me. Anyway, but what did I think about it? Like I said, I think it started good. It has a fun concept. I don't think I think it gives up on going anywhere interesting with that concept eventually. It just goes into like, you're real, like, even if you live in a fake world, I guess. I don't know. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it lost me and just became really like generic blockbuster for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it stops being interesting. It really stops being funny. It's kind of like the shift in the comedy is when Taika Waititi shows up for the first time, I think, and it's really embarrassing. It's really bad. It's the worst thing I've ever seen him do. Taika Waititi plays. It's supposed to be, like a tech bro. He's a douchebag video game developer who's about profits and not artistry. And he's just terrible. I'm sorry. It's bad. I like Taika Waititi and What We Do in the Shadows. I like him in Thor Ragnarok, and I like Jojo Rabbit. This was so bad. This was so bad. So it becomes really unfunny to me. It stops doing anything interesting with the video game concept itself. It all it turns into is that guy can just summon items. That's it. They don't even go back. Even when he's getting beat up a bunch, they don't even go back to that he needs health packs. When the health pack is the health pack is the very first thing that he interacts with once he puts on the sunglasses. So, and they just never get back to it. It got pretty disappointing. Like you said, I saw a lot of talk about this beforehand. A lot of people loved it, and a lot of people just hated it. I hated parts of it. I hated parts of it. I don't think I hate the movie as a whole.
No, I think
but I don't think it's good. I don't think
no.
About halfway through, it really just stops being good to me, and it becomes really not especially boring. I don't know.
No, I get that. Dear, what did you think?
God, Ryan, stop playing the same character and everything. Just stop doing it.
That's what they're paying him for.
I know, but goodness gracious, it's so painful to watch him pretend to be a genuinely happy, kind of innocently dumb person, because he's not that, and he can't turn off his own smarminess to save his life. And the character that he's playing is kind of like Buddy from Elf. Except he doesn't have any of that whimsy, any of that innocence that Will Ferrell brings to that role. And it's hard to watch at certain points.
Honestly. I think that his friend does a great job. I think that Buddy is fantastic. But I find a lot of the other performances pretty just there. Very filler. I think that Channing Tatum steals it for me. And if I had to just watch that scene, I would, and just take it right on out the movie.
I never want to watch that scene ever again.
No, I think that he's great, because I feel like that's the only time that Ryan Reynolds is actually genuinely feeling something, and it's discomfort. And it's perfect.
There's a lot of unwanted sexual harassment going on. There's a lot of touching in this movie, and I don't appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
And I guess for me, since I'm not a gamer, I didn't really need any of the I don't know who they are, the Twitchers or whatever the hell they are. The video game people talking about Guy. I don't know who you are, and I don't care.
No. Well, yeah, because you're old.
Well, yeah, but also if that's
Well, see, no, but
for our lead is in his 40s or something.
No, but that's what gave it away. Who this movie was for? It's for children.
Yeah, but it's for children who don't understand video games really, because if you're just gonna look at it for these people,
oh yeah,
for
sure,
game stuff is really gone in the movie. They could have put in so many more things that would have been a reference for people who actually play video games. But the thing is,
I don't want any more
references. Too old.
I don't want any more references ever again. They should be banned from movies altogether.
So, This was actually our second time watching it. We watched it once a while ago, and to
You
kind of
watched it
refresh for it,
twice.
to refresh for it and make sure that I was thoroughly prepared for it, we watched it a second time. For me, this movie is at times really interesting and at other times not. And I think it's also just truly on a technical level a very flawed bit of storytelling. I have a lot of issues, obviously, with Ryan Reynolds' performance. I don't think that he lacks. I don't think that he has the sincerity for it. One of his best moments is the moment where he's kind of broken and becomes mean, to the other people in the game world. So, but moving past that, we can talk about that more later.
See, like, and I like it to go with, so I don't mean to derail your train of thought, and to go with what Lauren said also, is that I really liked the concept and the idea of like, oh, he levels up and becomes a big deal because he's not, he it helps people, instead of just like shooting, instead of violence. I like I said, I like the concept. I like that it takes place like in Grand Theft Auto Online, basically. Like I said, like the setup is funny, and I feel like the whole, like everything was just in that setup, and then like it loses me very quickly after the setup is over, and it starts actually like getting to the stuff. Everything in the real world is terrible. Um, it's just a bore.
Yeah.
Anytime they cut to the real world, so it's very distracting when Taika Waititi is acting like more of a cartoon than anybody than even in the game world. It's like, what is this? And nobody's matching this right now.
Yeah. Well, and like there's so much awkward dialogue that happens like around, like it's so clunky, and like there's a moment where they give one of his friends like an awkward ADR line to like accompany whatever Taika Waititi is saying at the time. It's very like uncomfortable and stilted so often.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it stops being funny. It really does the off, and it also like to go with this clearly being like aimed at children eventually, like at a certain point there. It's like, Ryan Reynolds is running away from being banned, and he sees a wrecking ball, and they play Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball. And then he gets Captain America's shield. They play the Avengers theme. He gets a lightsaber out. They play, they play the music. Like it's not enough to.
Well, and speaking on music cues, this movie has, I counted, 2 wow, look at this girl moments that are set to music. You get the first one.
It's really that's so outdated at this point. I can't even say like it's not. I wouldn't even say it's problematic. Whatever. That's like it's a love thing, right? But I mean, like it's just so like to see it played so sincerely, to see like cliches like that played sincerely, like doesn't work. At least not in this movie. Not in this movie, because you're like, where's the joke?
Yeah,
I guess the joke is that it's a Mariah Carey song, but that's that's whatever.
Well, and going back to what you were talking about, it is this cribbing of a lot of ideas. So one, I think that it's not very technically well made. We can talk about how the third act is awkwardly edited. We can talk about all sorts of stuff, but on top of that, it is this weird pastiche of like a lot of other ideas. It's a little bit Lego Movie, it's a little bit Truman Show, it's a little bit Tron Legacy. It's a little bit Westworld. It's really cribbing off of all of these ideas, but then they don't do anything as interesting as any of those other things did with them, to your point. It just sort of kind of doesn't go anywhere.
It's and like it's not as it doesn't feel as original or as funny as something like the Lego Movie It's not as dramatically capable as something like the Truman Show, you know, or even interesting like an execution for the most part. Like I really
No.
feel like the whole concept of the sunglasses, you know, can be interesting, but then like I said, I really feel like they just stopped doing anything fun with them.
Hmm.
Well, I mean,
Like
and there's
the
a certain
actual like
point where he literally is just wearing like glasses. Like they don't have any actual tinting in them anymore. And
yeah
nobody else's sunglasses look like that. Like they're very specifically sunglasses. And he just ends up walking around in like frames for like the last third of the movie. Like you gave up on your own concept in a way.
yeah
No, and that's also, I think, speaks to the fact that they kind of give up on the whole gaming concept. You know, early on, there's some really good moments in the background where you see someone who's clearly new to the game, like hitting the jump button over and over again in the background.
yeah
And they never stick to any of their ideas conceptually. They never do anything with them, more than just be like, here they are. You
yeah
know, this is the concept.
there it is.
And yeah,
It's like,
like
all
none of the
right,
action.
and what do we do with it?
And you
What do
know,
you mean?
like one of the two writers on this is one of the people who wrote the adaptation for Ready Player One, and I think Ready Player One is a deeply flawed movie. Um,
Oh
but
yeah,
like,
yeah. That's another. That's the other one I was trying to think of, like similar ish concepts and stuff.
mhm.
Yeah, Ready Player One is a much better movie,
And like it has very
and
memorable
I don't, yeah,
sequences.
I don't love that movie, but yeah, didn't we see that one together?
I think so.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember the King Kong. When King Kong showed up in that opening race was like nice.
Yeah. That opening race sequence is incredible, and even that final battle
That's
is
Steven Spielberg,
awesome.
dude.
Yeah,
Steven Spielberg rocks.
it's the majesty of the imagery, you know, that you're seeing.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible and it's breathtaking. Even if the story has some awkward beats, that movie is very visually intriguing. Um,
Yep.
this one less so, you know. And like speaking again about some of the issues of this movie, you know, storytelling 101, show don't tell. You open this movie and you have this awesome action sequence of Channing Tatum doing all kinds of deranged video game stuff. And it's just getting talked to you by Ryan Reynolds with this narration that doesn't go anywhere, that doesn't really ever come back in any kind of meaningful way. And it's the worst version of narration. It's literally just explaining really what the movie is showing you. You know, like it
It's
feels
already being
like,
shown. Yeah.
yeah,
Instead of getting to a real proper tone, instead of letting just like the images and the yeah, like what's happening. Yeah, the narration takes away from it.
yeah. And like, narration needs to put you in some sort of perspective or give you some sort of depth to it. You know, bad narration in movies is exactly this. And then they don't even continue the narration throughout the entire story. You know, we're not constantly living in Guy's head, getting this narration from Guy. It shows up and then it leaves. And it feels like this movie got, I don't know, like screen tested or something. Because there are a lot of moments where it suddenly feels like things got put in certain places to explain something that whoever was at the screen testing audience was like, I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you
And
know,
so, like,
it's funny because like they even have sections of this movie and like this so a lot of people have been, you know, applauding this movie for being original, you know, and not being like an already IP something, you know, not it's not an existing franchise, but now it is. um
yeah,
but uh which like yes, like in a way, but it's also like so much non-existent like without all of that, and it literally makes moments out of Disney owned stuff.
No, absolutely.
It's not. It's not. Sorry. My point was like it's not very original. It's funny to see sequences of the film. I think it's like Taika Waititi's character talking about. Um, he's like people want sequels. People want the cheap sequel. Blah blah blah. People don't want original, uplifting stuff. And I get it. Again, like that's what's frustrating. It has these, like the direction is in like the right place with what this movie can be about, and but like everything on it just doesn't live up to that. It doesn't live up to its own concepts, either in being funny and going somewhere with them, or dramatic. I didn't feel anything from this movie.
No, and like
I watched it with Kira. She said like the part of the middle of the movie where like they do like the reboot and they reboot the system was just like a waste of time. What was the point of that? Like
yeah.
nothing changed. That's what you're saying. Like there are lots of like weird moments that just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, and Lauren made the point that they also rarely stand by the rules that they've created for their own world as well.
Yeah.
They talk about how like there is no feature that allows you to kiss in the game. But then Jodie Comer's character is able to kiss Guy. And so like it's a very subtle moment, but again, it's this breaking of the rules that you've already established as existing in this world.
Yeah.
Which makes the storytelling all that much lazier.
Did you like when Taika Waititi is destroying all the servers one by one? And of course, like the very last one is like the main characters specifically.
But also
they were all on that server. And if you do that, everything it will slowly dissolve instead of like immediately being deleted.
But he literally
I feel like if you
asks
took
his like stooge which ones are important, and then he just starts like hitting them at random, and then in that moment he's like, but I know specifically that this one is the most important one. Like, come on. What are you talking about? Are you stupid?
It's really ridiculous. It really becomes like insulting,
Mm-hmm.
Like it just becomes very dumb. I feel like when Buddy dies, you're like, bullshit. And lo and behold, Buddy comes back. And it's like I can't feel anything unless like I've like never seen a movie before, I guess.
No, and like, conceptually, again, going back to ideas that are kind of wasted, the idea that Taika is this person who is so rich and powerful that essentially all of the real people that occupy his life for him are as disposable as NPCs. And this idea that we in the real world treat people as disposably, and like we can barely muster being just nice enough in the real world, but then when we get into these game worlds, we become assholes. We don't do anything with that. Guy's Awakening wasn't really for the video games, it was for the real world. But we never really land that echo effect, of how he's shaping hearts and minds by being the good guy.
Mm. Yeah, man, it's not very good, huh?
And like the most one of the
I don't like dude. I don't like CG tall muscular Ryan Reynolds. I don't like it's an abomination. I don't like it. It shouldn't exist.
His best joke is the moment where he's like TBD third thing. Like that's literally probably one of his best jokes, but that's just because it's like that's someone who literally actually just like did notes for like, oh, I'll come back in and fill it in later, and they never did, but that almost feels like it could have been the script as well.
Yeah.
Well, and like they definitely let Ryan and Taika, both of them, riff too much. Like, you can tell that both of them are improving perpetually.
Yeah, it's just not there.
No, that's fair.
I I don't know what more to say about it. I'm sorry, everybody who liked Free Guy.
No, yeah, and like, everyone can like what they like, but I just, even at an honest to God technical level, like, I just think that it's too flawed of a movie for me to ever like actually get into it. You know what I
I
mean?
can't believe you watched it twice. I have no desire to watch it a second time.
I have notes. I watched it twice and I have notes. So Nick, if you had to rate it out of 5, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 2. Like I said, the concepts are there. There are some good moments. Jodie Comer, God bless her, is doing what she can.
Trying her damnedest.
Speaking of Jodie Comer, I also heard, and listening to the Green Knight episode, I heard Henry recommend it. The Last Duel is awesome. Last Duel is great. Jodie Comer is in that.
I think she needs a redemption from this movie.
That's
Dude,
next
it's a great
week's
movie.
episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, lucky you. It's a really good movie. There's yes. Okay.
2
Enjoy.
seems fair. Dear, what
That's all we
would
gotta.
you
That's
give
all we
it?
gotta say about. Sorry, my final note
Oh, yeah.
about Free Guy. The only take away anything from Free Guy, go watch The Last Duel. Starring Jodie Comer.
Perfect.
Gosh, what do I give this dumpster fire? This movie just makes me mad the longer I think about it. I'm gonna give Free Guy a 1.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Brutal.
Spanked it.
Fatality.
It's just lazy, like all over the board. Like, damn it. Have you guys ever made a movie before? Like, come on.
It goes for the obvious joke. It goes for the obvious It's not.
Yeah, it's just boring.
Everything that it takes from is just it's too much better. Takes from is what I meant. Okay, Paul, what is your final verdict on Free Guy?
Hell's bells. I don't know. I think that I'll land on a 2 as well. I like certain parts of the cast so much, and I think that certain cast members are trying so hard to do the most with what they have. I do think that it's such a good concept, but again, to your point, it never sticks the landing. It doesn't take its own timeline seriously. It has the same problem of Army of the Dead, where they introduce a ticking clock that then also doesn't really seem to matter. And so it's constantly that it's serving it up to then go, hold on, let me grab another ball, and you just let that one fall. And so I think that I'll land on a 2. And honestly, I think that this movie could have been a 3 or a 4, honest to God, just with the simple recasting of probably both Ryan and Taika. I think that honestly could have just given it just that other bump up in rating. But we never really get there. We can talk more about it, but honestly, I think it's conceptually very weird that people are equating this to our next movie, The Matrix Resurrections, because they aren't really the same thing at all.
It's not the similarities between The Matrix Resurrections are really just like the Matrix franchise as a whole. And to Free Guy is that they're technically both living in a simulation, the main characters. And they awaken to their realities, their respective realities. That's kind of it.
And they're both white, and their love interests have dark hair. There we go.
This is factual. It's the truth.
We did it.
It's factual.
Yep.
Everything
And
is satisfactory.
That's it. We did it.
Zippity doo dah, folks.
So
We
we
cracked the
can talk.
code. Yeah. So, well, like I don't know. I don't know when people started comparing them, because people just really hated the Matrix Resurrection. Not everybody. Like a Matrix movie, it seems split.
Yeah.
We'll say
and we
mixed.
can-
We'll say mixed.
We'll dig a little bit deeper into that. But before we do, we of course have a clip for the Matrix Resurrections. So give it a listen.
We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real.
So that was Matrix Resurrections, which again came out in 2021. It's directed by Lana Wachowski, and the premise is return to a world of two realities. One, everyday life. The other, what lies behind it. To find out if his reality is a construct, to truly know himself, Mr. Anderson will have to choose to follow the White Rabbit once more. And it stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jonathan Groff, Jessica Henwick, Neil Patrick Harris, Jada Pinkett Smith, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, with a lovely surprise cameo by Christina Ricci. And Nick, since you started on the last one, dear, why don't we start with you? What did you think of the Matrix Resurrections?
I liked the beginning of it. And boy howdy, Jada in that old lady makeup is rough. Yeah. Oh my god. It was like they paralyzed her entire face. Covered it. It was horrible. Love?
So I also watched this one twice. Well, we watched this one twice as well. Again, I have notes on this one, just like I did on Free Guy. Overall, I love the Matrix franchise. I really, truly have a very soft spot for all of the movies. Like, I actually didn't start on the first Matrix movie. The first Matrix movie that I actually saw was Reloaded, the second one. And so
The best one.
Yeah. And so like I went back and I
one.
watched all the others, you know, and I loved that series. I used to have like a Captain Mifune in his like mech suit toy. I think somewhere around here I've got like a McFarlane statuette of Neo during the opening shootout scene, or the closing shootout scene of the first Matrix movie. I loved the franchise. I dug into it. I loved Mr. Smith. He was my Darth Vader as a kid. I
Great
memorized
villain,
his
dude.
lines.
Amazing villain. Amazing performance.
And so, like, I was a big Matrix kid. And I was super comfortable with the idea of never having another one. You know, like, I was really fine with that idea. And they announced a new one, and I was pretty skeptical. You know, even though it was Lana coming back, the Wachowskis are a little hit or miss, I would say, as filmmakers. You know, I love The Matrix. I love V for Vendetta. Everything else after that is kind of all over the place. Um,
The Wachowskis did V for Vendetta.
they were, I think, producers on it.
Oh, word.
And so like I was pretty open to the idea, you know. And like Keanu was coming back and Carrie Ann was coming back, and I was like, I was optimistic. When I first watched it, I felt a little let down.
Mm-hmm.
On my second watching, I liked it more, but I also, I think, started to put a better finger on I guess what I thought some of its shortcomings were. And ultimately
Did you like either before the first viewing or in between the first and the second viewing, did you like read anything on it as well?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. It's I found that to be very helpful for certain movies, obviously.
Yeah. And so for me, I think come down on I liked it, but I don't think that it got there all the way, but I think it's leaps and bounds better than Free Guy.
Oh, yes.
Nick, what did you think?
Man. So okay, so you like grew up with The Matrix?
Yeah.
Like when did you like watch it? Did you watch like when Reloaded came out? Did you watch like in theaters, or did you just watch Reloaded on TV one day? Or
So I came into my mom and dad's room while like my sister was getting ready to go somewhere or do something. Like mom was helping, I think, Madeline with her hair. And I come in and they were watching a movie that they had rented, I think from like Blockbuster. And it was The Matrix Reloaded. And it was just kind of like on in the background. And I think that I hit it like at the chateau scene. You know, I think that I hit it like right when you meet the Merovingian. And so I sat down and I was like, oh, this shit is great. You know, like I was
yeah. For real.
maybe, you know, 12 or so at the time or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
And I was even enthralled with all of, because like I didn't catch it at the fight. Like I caught it with them meeting the Merovingian. And I was like, this guy is weird, but I love him. Monica Bellucci's doing great. Like I'm totally in for all of this dialogue, even though it was definitely probably going above my head at the time.
Yeah.
And so then when we got to the fight scene and the twins and the highway, it blew my little fucking brain.
Yeah, exactly. So I had never seen. Well, actually, I had never seen the Matrix movies until last year. I had never seen a single one of them before. Lauren, had you seen them before?
So I had seen the first one years ago. It probably like came on TV, but I never knew that there were any others after that. I was like, all right, you know, boom,
Yeah,
one and done. And so right before we watched this, we rewatched the entire. Well, he rewatched the entire trilogy, and I got to finally watch the last two. And honestly, love it. It's a perfect trilogy. It's fantastic. It is action packed. It's everything you could want and more. It's great. I love it. You know.
So it was your first time seeing the first one, like in a long time.
Oh yeah.
And it was your very first time seeing the second and third one.
Yes.
Okay. And Paul, when was like the last time you had watched it?
Probably college or sometime shortly thereafter. For whatever reason, it was a franchise that I just hadn't gone back and rewatched in some time.
Yeah. So, like I said, like I had never actually seen any of the movies before. I had just, seen, clips, like, the obvious stuff like Neo dodging bullets, some of the Reloaded like parts of the highway scene and stuff like that. My like association with it was like on like Newgrounds videos of like of like parodies and stuff. You know, like I knew it like through
Mhm.
like pop culture, like you know, like through stuff like that is my understanding of it. But upon actually watching all of them last year, just kind of like on a whim, I was, I was like, what's like a really big franchise that I've missed? I chose The Matrix. Yeah, yeah, I think it's fantastic. Like the first one, the second one is my favorite because to me the second one is like the first one, but bigger and better. You know, it's the proper sequel. It's like the Terminator 2. It's the it's the Empire Strikes Back. It's it's
Mhm.
the bigger, better sequel. um, and I like the third one. I think the third one just kind of like devolves into like CG chaos for a really long time. The man on the bridge just shooting and screaming is just forever in my brain, planted in my brain.
Good.
It's, it's insanity, but but I love it. um, so I said, what the heck, Matrix Resurrections, because I dug it. You know, I had no proper attachment to it, but
Mhm.
I I really liked this movie. I saw it in theaters. I have not rewatched it since then. But the more time I have with it, I kind of love it. I really like it. I uh, to quote Rick, what's his name? Rick McCullough. It's so dense. There's a lot going on in the Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah.
Um, I really love how like meta it get. Like my favorite moments are like the meta moments, and like I like that this is a Matrix movie that is funny. I like that as a sense of humor because like the original trilogy is like pretty humorless. There's obviously there's room for comedy in anything like that, but there's a lot of comedy in it, and I didn't mind that. I thought it worked. I thought it was funny.
No, yeah.
Um, sorry.
No, you're totally fine.
See, I'm too dumb to talk about this movie. It's hard.
I think this.
I like the context of like what it starts to say about like why it exists. Like it literally tells you like Warner Brothers, like to your face, like Warner Brothers was going to make this movie, whether we were involved or not. So we decided to do it, or I decided to
Yeah.
do it. Lena Wachowski. This is becomes it kind of redefines what the Matrix was, right? Matrix is like a thing to keep us, complacent. And it's, about how it weaponizes, it's like it's an overall framing, but it's also directly talking about the Matrix franchise itself about I'm gonna get there. About how they took this idea of like, awakening to the reality, of you're in a system that is that is brainwashing you, um, and how that kind of got co-opted by like to become trivialized to such as a franchise about like cool guns, it's just about like the action sequences, um, and how metaphors like the red pill, became like fascist, like right wing ideology and all that. Um, and I think it takes that, and it's Lena Wachowski trying to reclaim her own story into like what the Matrix is originally supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. I think that this movie is brilliant in fits and spurts, I guess. I think that honestly for me, this honestly could have almost been two movies. You
Yeah.
know, it's almost so dense and has so much going on that it really almost is a disservice that it's one film. Because I think to your point, it's tackling so many ideas while also being so incredibly deeply personal to Lana that I think once you get about halfway into it, it starts to lose some of that potency of its ideas. Because
Yeah.
it starts out so
I
strongly. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I think into what Lauren said also, like the beginning is the best part. And we didn't even mention like the setup for the new Matrix movie. Is Neo is still in the Matrix. Neo and Trinity are still in the Matrix. Neither of them remember each other. And Neo's a video game designer who, in the first three Matrix movies, were a video game that Neo created. And now he's been ordered to create a sequel.
Honestly,
And yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
But then a new version of Morpheus and Jessica Hardwick, who's fantastic. Jessica Hardwick rocks. As a woman named Bugs come to bust him out once again. But he might not want to go.
Because it's all of it in his head, you know? Is this real? Is the Matrix real? Am I real? You know?
Are you real? Are you sitting there?
How would you know? We're on a screen, man.
You're right.
And like, I really enjoy the beginning and like the talk about like not only sequels but also like video game culture and the different people pulling from the Matrix what they think is the like core concept of the entire franchise. And you know, one person's like, oh, it's all about the guns, and like the other person's like, oh, it's all of this anti-political stuff, and you're like, you just keep on a loop. I loved the whole like every day is the same day, they just wear different clothes. Like it was such a good sequence.
The White Rabbit sequence is like, it's just so good.
Oh yeah, and that was a perfect song choice. It's so good. And then we start to go off the rails on the crazy train.
I think what I get disappointed is that it then like becomes the very thing it was critiquing before.
Yes.
Like for a long stretch, when it goes to the real world, is when oh, this is just back to like franchise mode. This is exactly like what you were just like. This is not only what you were just like not doing, which was exciting, but also like what you were like directly critiquing.
No, yeah.
And that's what's so fun, because like the Matrix this time looks completely different. You know, like when they're in the Matrix, it doesn't look anything like what the old Matrix movies look like. You know, the color, the grading isn't the same. It's not like the gray, the greens, grays, and everything. It's, you know.
And like 60 years has supposedly passed between the original Matrix and this new Matrix. And I guess I was really hoping that like once he got out of the Matrix itself, that like his rebirth would look different, that like technology would have advanced at all in those 60 years. But like everything kind of looks exactly the same as it did before. And like, you know, technology has moved so quickly in just our lifetime alone. Cell phones have evolved like 50 times over since the beginning one. So like, why are all of your stuff exactly the same? Why?
It's a post-apocalyptic world.
But they're machines making machines. You would think that they would evolve.
Oh, you're talking about like the machine worlds. I see.
No,
Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. For no, they were too busy poking at Neo and Trinity.
No, literally.
They were too busy doing that. They
Like,
had no time for such things.
what?
Um,
the human city this time around is really ill defined. Also, you don't see
Io?
anybody. Yeah, you don't see anybody besides like people they're talking to.
Yeah. Well, and like again, this movie has almost just as much density, just as much reference as previous Matrix films, but it also doesn't really lead to as much. And like it has some really heady themes, you know. It's about how nostalgia is a kind of safety blanket when society is in turmoil, and how people cling to older ideas and older concepts for some semblance of security. It's about, you know, the writer theory and whether or not you actually are ever making a choice. You know, every time someone is like, that's hardly a choice. You know, whenever a choice is presented, they're always like, that's not really me making a choice.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about it's also about, to your point, you know, how the system, you know, will weaponize just about anything to try and convince you of the power of the system, and about gaslighting. And so like it's spinning so many plates, and then it's also like, but it's also a love story. And I think that like the first Matrix trilogy did such a good job at having the love story be the beating heart of the film, but not the driving force of the film. And I think that in this one, we get a little bit lost. And I think that that's also maybe where I would have preferred like a splitting of this narrative into two parts.
Yeah.
That I think that
like what it becomes is like the Matrix trilogy as a whole is, you know, feels like a full cohesive story. Whereas like that was like meant to be a trilogy, you know, like was always intended to be exactly that. Whereas Resurrections feels like, well, we don't know if we're gonna do another one after this, you know.
Mhm.
Like we we
So
don't
we're
know
just
if
going to
this
shove
will
it
be
all
it or
in.
what. I think it ends too abruptly.
Yeah, because like
I like where it's at, and it's like, oh, so sweet, and then it ends, and you're like, oh.
Well, and like we watched it ourselves, and then we watched it with Lauren's dad, my father-in-law, and he was like, so how did they get the power over the other guy? And he was like, and what did the cat have to do with it? And you know, honestly, it was kind of so abrupt that I was like, you know, I'm not really sure exactly what the cat had to do with it. The cat seemed important, but also we never really get any kind of clarity on that either.
It was in the Neo sees a black cat in the first Matrix movie.
Yeah. But then like Neil Patrick
yes.
Harris is like trying to get to the cat in the middle of the bar fight. Like the cat is important.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have done that. He just likes the cat. I think Neil Patrick Harris is great in this. I really like that villain.
Tremendous.
Jonathan Groff rocks. Jonathan Groff rocks. But I mean, the character rocks. It's Mr. Smith. Like the character,
and he nailed it. He nailed it
it
so thoroughly. Honestly, I will say this, for me, with the exception of probably like Jada Pinkett having less facial mobility than Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire. For the most part, I think that the casting of this movie is pretty good. You know, I think our legacy actors do fine. I think Keanu could have turned it up a little bit more. I thought Carrie Ann was doing a great job, but I thought that all of the new cast members, honestly, were doing great. I really don't have a
Yeah.
problem with any of the new actors. The weakest one probably for me of the new cast members was probably just Priyanka Chopra Jonas as older Sati, just because it didn't even feel remotely like that character grown up.
See, and like that's part of what I was talking about. Like it becomes kind of self-indulgent. Like, and here's everybody from the original movies.
Yeah, we needed to bring Sati back, you know.
Like here's everybody, and it's like this is just what you were saying sucks.
I was really hoping that all of the flashbacks to the original franchise would end the moment that he finally got out of the Matrix. The moment that he was, stopped taking the blue pill was the moment that he like realized it was all real, and then we could like live in actual like the here and now instead of being like, all right, but like 15 more flashbacks, Oh, you gotta remember the little girl? We're gonna give you a flashback to her, Oh, remember Jada? We're gonna do a flashback to that battle. We're gonna do it.
Roll the footage.
No, literally. And I was like, guys, come on, we're wasting so much time in this already rushed movie for
roll the footage.
For what?
They're gonna be like, okay, Grandpa.
And like, it just really felt like they didn't want me to watch the original trilogy before I watched this one. They were like, you need the space between so that way all of this footage doesn't feel like a yes, I know. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Duh.
There's no time.
Like, my goodness. And like, I know that the original franchise, was not about the fighting, but I always loved the fact that the choreography was so precise and you could like watch the entire thing and be like, wow, they are really kicking ass. And they were just like fast forwarding through the fight sequences in this one so much that I was like, everything's a blur.
It sucks. Like the action comparatively is a big letdown.
It's because they didn't have the time. I had to waste it on all of these scenes about Keanu and Carrie Ann being like, gosh, I feel like I've known you forever.
I like it. That's fine. But the heck am I saying? I lost it.
No.
I lost the thought.
So,
I'm sorry.
If it comes back to you, chime in with it. Dear, if you had to give Matrix Resurrections a rating out of 5, what would you give it?
I think I'm sitting at a 3. Like right in the middle. Like I really thought that the original franchise was like chef's kiss perfect. And I felt like this one relied too much on its own legacy. And I think that that's where it really like hindered itself.
Nick, what about you?
I give it a 4. I like it a lot. I think the action is a letdown. Like you said, I think it does try to do too much in one movie. Ends too abruptly, like I said. I do like the ending action sequence.
The body missiles are tremendous. That's one of my favorite moments.
Awesome. That rocks. That's good stuff. I liked Neo versus the helicopters. But yes. No, not perfect. But I give it a 4. It's fun. If you want to go into like the trans allegory of Resurrections in particular, there's a good essay on reverseshot.org. That's a good read too.
Cool. I think that I'll go 3.5. I think I'll split the difference. I see something in this movie just as great as, you know, the first three. Um, but I think that there's just that missing something that takes it all the way there. But ultimately, I also don't think that it's a disappointment. And I think for me, it really did improve probably a lot more on a second viewing as someone who wasn't sure about how I felt with the movie the first time. A second viewing really, I think for me, solidified a lot of my opinion on it. It's interesting. It's one to chew on, and I will say that, like, even if it isn't a movie that I love or hate in any particular direction, I still am kind of chewing on it and thinking about it, and I think that that's incredibly successful in its own right.
Yeah. Yes. And that's that.
Woo!
Moving on, Nick, you know, you've seen quite a few things in 2021, so I did, you know, before we end the show, I did want to ask you, what are some of your favorite things that you saw in 2021?
Yes, I like literally wrote a best of list. I
I'll
put
link it.
I put Malignant on there. Just really like Malignant. I put everything that like surprised me, you know, made me feel something. Was different, was interesting to me. I don't know. Of course, you know, that's very bland, like duh. But yes, I put Malignant because it gets insane and is a lot of fun. I put a movie called Wild Indian. It's by Lyle Mitchell Corbijn Jr. And it is awesome. It is a dark, like drama thriller about two Native American boys who their lives are forever changed by an act of violence. And the first half of the movie is them as kids. Second half of the movie is them as adults, decades later, and it's like how that event like has changed their lives like in very different directions. And it is you know, it is like, you know, it's hard to watch, but it's very good. One of those, you know, it's awesome. I put The Last Duel on there, Ridley Scott. Just fantastic movie. Everybody watch that. Put a movie called Violet by Justine Bateman. And yes, that is the same Bateman as Jason Bateman.
I was about to ask if there was any relation, so thank you.
Yeah, that's his sister. And it's Olivia Munn. She's a film executive. And Justin Theroux plays like the voice in her head that's like, you know, it's like doubt, it's like depression, it's like a literal like interpretation of it, you know, that like speaks it aloud to her, you know. So it's like her perspective as she goes about her day, and you hear him talking like as like the voice in her head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fantastic. I really liked it. Check that out. I put The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's an animated movie on Netflix. It rocks. Go watch that. I put The Green Knight. Yes, Judas and the Black Messiah. Loved it. Dune. Really like Dune. I put Crypto Zoo. That's on Hulu right now. That's an adult animated movie. That's like really interesting hand-drawn animation style. And it is about like a fantastical world where like like cryptids, like mystical animals and stuff like exist, and most of them are in a zoo. And it's like a big like adventure, like adventure environmentalist, kind of movie. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Lake Bell is the star of it. Really good. Check that out. I really liked Power of the Dog. That's on Netflix. Benedict Cumberbatch, Cody Smith McPhee, Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst. Very good. I put Sator, which is a horror movie. I put Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. I put the last Evangelion movie that came out in Japan, or I guess it gets out in the United States now, but yeah. And I put Nicolas Cage movie Pig on there.
I was going to ask if Pig was on here.
Pig is number one. And I meant to put Shiva Baby on that list. Shiva Baby is fantastic.
Okay. Those are all really good, and some of them are movies that we're planning on covering this month. A few of them are potentially, I'm thinking Power of the Dog might end up in our Women in Film episode in March. But that's a great list. We put together a little Film Buds list, and what I was thinking is, we would share some of our picks, and then we would update it at the end of the month once we've seen more from the year. So currently our best of for 2021 is as follows. Judas and the Black Messiah, Nobody, The Green Knight, The Suicide Squad, Halloween Kills, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, and Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go through and update that later on.
There's just not enough. I miss so much. But I put Nightmare Alley on there too. Yeah. So the Suicide Squad was really good.
Oh yeah.
As far as what we've been watching so far in the new year, we've seen or we've watched Finch, Three Identical Strangers, and The Suicide Squad. Finch was okay.
Was it a rewatch or the first time you watched it?
That was our third time watching it.
A third time. Okay.
Yeah. And I was really pumped. James Gunn liked my tweet about it.
Really good. What'd you? Oh yeah.
Three Identical Strangers is a great documentary.
Yeah, I'm so scared of every documentary now.
My mother-in-law, Lauren's mom, is really into like true stories and things like that, and I thought that this would be like a really interesting one that I hope that she would like, and I think she liked it. I don't think she liked how dark the story gets.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely liked the happy half.
Mm-hmm. And then Finch was one that my father-in-law wanted to watch because he really loves Tom Hanks. And so it's fine. It's a very middle of the road movie that Tom Hanks probably, if it weren't him, no one would have given a shit. And that's maybe a little overly blunt, but oh well. It's good. It's fine. It's again kind of like Free Guy. It has a lot of concepts that you've seen before, but what do they do with them?
Yeah. I think I liked it more than Free Guy.
Oh well, no, I do like it overall more than Free Guy, but I was just more meaning in the sense of like, I don't think that it reaches as far as it could have.
Oh no, I get that.
Yeah. That's pretty much what we've been watching lately. The last thing that I'll leave off on is I did want to give y'all a little bit of interesting media news that cropped up today. Apparently, the CW might end up going up for sale. The CW, for those that don't know, is a joint venture. It started out as the WB, and is one of the public airwaves that is are government airwaves leased out to private corporations, right? So Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, and the CW, formerly the WB. But the WB wasn't doing well, and Paramount also had a network that wasn't doing well. And so they were like, well, what if we just combined them? And so it ended up becoming the CW. And it's never really been an earner in terms of, you know, making money on the shows directly, but they get a lot of money on the streaming rights. They get a lot of money on the shows being launched and then shown internationally. And currently, the parent companies are considering still providing all of the content, but sharing selling their majority ownership and becoming a minority owner. But apparently the talks around that are still very tentative. But it's one of those interesting little pockets. You know, people know about the CW, but I feel like most people don't know like where it came from, how it came from, why. And so I thought that it was interesting also that it suddenly has gone up for sale, because it feels like lately they've been a little bit on a hot streak, but apparently that still has not been directly profitable itself, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, well, like TV like that, it's just been dying for a while.
Yeah. Beyond that,
not
not
just
much.
them.
No. Beyond that, not terribly much else new in entertainment news that I felt was worth sharing. Nick, do you have anything else that you would like to tell the listeners?
I watched Swan Song recently. That's on Apple TV Plus. It's a Mahershala Ali movie. Who is good. It's good. It's pretty good. Check it out. It's interesting.
Are you writing a review for that one, or did you watch it just for yourself?
No, I already wrote a review for that one.
Okay.
You can read that on Geeks of Color. What else did I watch? I watched the Paul Schrader movie, The Card Counter, the Oscar Isaac. I really liked it. Also very good.
Paul Schrader is a nut.
Oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. I I saw First Reform with Kira. Really good. Fantastic. I watched Zola, which is good. Also, I think it ends too abruptly. It doesn't have an ending to me. Maybe that's the point, but I wish there had been an end. But I liked Zola. I watched Titan. I like Titan. Titan's really intense. Yes, it is good. I watched 355, not so good. And I watched Spencer. Kristen Stewart. That was very good.
Did you see Jackie?
No, I want to watch Jackie.
I haven't. No, I haven't seen either of them. But I think it's interesting that, you know, he's done two of these very sort of reflective, almost melancholic kind of takes on two of these very famous historical women. I'm wondering if he's going to do, like, you know, another one and kind of close out this little series that he's doing.
It's you know, to also bring back to the Great Night episode. It's kind of Shakespearean in that sense, you know, like every line is like a metaphor. And it's like it's doomed figures. You know, it's tragic figures. Good, yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything else that you would like to tell the listeners?
No, that's all, folks. I got nothing to report. I'm about to watch the Scream movies. I've never seen the Scream movies. I've never seen a single one of them.
You'll have to let me know what you think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they're brilliant. I love them all in their own ways. But I'll definitely be curious to know what you think of them, especially coming to them, now with this new one coming out.
Are you excited for the new one?
Yes, if only because I know someone who has read the script, and they say that if it sticks to the script that they read, that it's going to be great.
Cool. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I will, as always, link all of Nick's availabilities down below, so that way you can go and check him out, because Nick is a very gifted writer. He's very funny. Don't you shake your head at me, Nick Delgadillo. And yeah, that's pretty much all that we have. Next week, where the theme of this one was kind of simulated worlds. Next week we're doing, I'm calling it Auteurs in History. And so we'll be doing The Last Duel and Benedetta, because Ridley Scott and Paul Verhoeven are undoubtedly auteurs. And I think it'll be interesting to see them tackle historical period, because also Ridley Scott does such a great job with period films in general.
Crazy white men.
And so
white men are dangerous.
That's right. And so we've got a pretty good lineup for y'all. I think that it'll be a good episode. I might try and get a guest for that one if I can. Nick, thank you as always for coming on and giving us your time. I know that you're a very busy man.
Thanks. It's funny. I was excited to talk about The Matrix, and then I'm like, I can't do it.
You did great.
I bit off more than I could chew.
Oh no, you did fine. It's a big movie to chew on.
Yeah.
I read Walter Chaw's review of it, and he hated it.
He did. Yeah. Can I
but-
show you something?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay. So a little story time. Once upon a time, Nick and I were exchanging Jar Jar Binks gifts back and forth. And it started with Nick getting me a Jar Jar action figure. And so then I, in turn, decided that the thing that I needed to get him was, back when Phantom Menace came out, they made these 3 inflatable chairs. There was one for Padme, one for Darth Maul, and one for Jar Jar. And I'm astounded. I got him the Jar Jar one, and it was still in the box and stuff. And what he just showed us was the inflated Jar Jar. I am astounded that thing actually fucking inflated.
It's not fully. I don't have like an air device. I blew it about as much as I could, just like myself, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's large.
No, yeah. Did it? I'm honestly amazed it still functioned, that it didn't have like a leak in it or anything.
No, it's good to go.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that was the best thing ever. That was.
Who's ready to sit in Papa's lap?
Misa. Absolutely incredible. Thank you. That was exactly the note that I needed.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. I hope that your son enjoys it.
He's scared of it right now.
I mean that's understandable.
Rightfully so.
It's just unblinking, you know. It's just this
They'll come around.
deranged, unblinking face.
They all come around eventually.
Jar Jar's the key to all this.
If we can get Jar Jar working.
We've never had a character this funny in Star Wars.
It's so dense.
There's just a visual effect shot every frame.
Good times.
Woo! Oh Lord. And on that note, thank you.
I think we might
for
have gone too far
listening.
in a few places.
Oh God. Thank you guys for listening, especially for this last deranged part of it. As always, you know, come and check us out on thefilmbuds.com. Give us a review. Check out everything that Nick does. He's better at this than I am. And so thank you, you know, for listening.
Ridiculous. Disgusting
And-
what you said. Should be. I mean, you should. I'm sorry to say it. You should be killed. You should be shot. I don't.
Well,
I don't advocate for gun violence, but it's over for you. It's done.
well, damn. It's because I'm so bad at this.
Oh, no, stop it.
I think I'll double down.
We've backfired. Stand down.
We went too far. But no, thank you
It's
for
so
listening.
dense.
And we will catch you guys next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.